All right, what is up, guys? Farzin Vasugian here with you. The 2023 regular season is over, and we now know who will visit Arrowhead next weekend for the wild card game. Chiefs, Dolphins on Saturday. That is your wild card game at Arrowhead. So this will be interesting. And this is a very interesting Deal or No Deal Island. Okay, they're really great getting creative on Peacock, man. Shout outs to the executives over at Peacock. They said, hey, look, we got the Chiefs Kingdom and the Swifties. They're going to pay for Peacock. Yeah, let's do it. And they said, sure, why not? We're going to do exactly that. That was the thought right there. And if you think otherwise, you're just crazy. Okay, guys. Let me know. How are y'all feeling about this one? I feel good. I'm glad it's the Dolphins. This is who I predicted that would come to Arrowhead. And I think this is listen, I know the Steelers are the easier team. I don't want the easier team. I will say this. I do think the Chiefs will win. And I think they have the tools to beat Miami. Miami's not a good football team. Yeah, sure, they beat up on all these terrible teams, but they do pretty bad against the good teams. We saw it today. The only game they won against a team with a winning record this year was Dallas on Christmas Eve. That's it. That's the only time the Dolphins beat a team with a winning record this year. Yeah, they beat up on a lot of bad teams. They beat up on the Broncos. They beat up on the Panthers, the Giants, the Patriots at home. Beat up on the Jets both times. The Commanders. I mean, if you give KC those teams, they could probably do that too, even with the issues that they've had on offense this year. They could definitely score a lot of points on those teams. But against teams with a winning record, especially good defenses, no, not at all. And you saw the game in Germany when the Chiefs and Dolphins played. The Dolphins only scored 2 touchdowns, both in the second half. And I've said this before. The second one was a gimme touchdown when Chris Jones, they got a third down stop, and Chris Jones does the dumbest thing he could have done in that situation where he goes up to a player, talks shit. He did the exact same thing in the Colts game. So if the Chiefs can just be mentally focused on this one, don't do stupid shit like that. Don't drop the ball. You're winning this football game. You are winning this football game. It would be a big surprise if the Chiefs defense collapses in this game. Miami's offense, even at full strength, they can't score a lot of points against bad teams. I know Tyreek Hill's not 100%. I know they're dealing with some injuries with Waddle and with Mostert, though the thought is they should be available for the playoffs. But I don't want to hear any excuses about injuries, man. Nobody's 100% going into the playoffs. All of these guys are tired as hell. The only person who is probably feeling the most freshest is probably Joe Flacco, because he wasn't even playing a few weeks ago. That's it. That's the only player there. Yeah. I'm just reading your guys' comments right now. Yeah, it is gonna be. What is the weather gonna be? I have not paid attention to this. It is gonna be really damn cold. According to, hold on, let me get the correct. There we go. According to my iPhone, it's not the most accurate, but hey, that's what we have. 0 degrees on Saturday. You see that right there. 0 degrees on Saturday. That is the low. The high is 15. It is going to be cold. And that's not good news for Miami. Listen, not because they're a warm weather team. I don't believe in that shit. I really, really don't. I think that is honestly like one of the most overrated aspects in this game. I know people love to use stats with Peyton Manning because Indianapolis is not a warm weather city per se, but they played indoors for so many years. And whenever Peyton would play an outdoor game, or whenever he played in the playoffs for the Broncos, they didn't go very far because he was not used to that kind of weather so much. So I don't know, man. I don't believe in that stuff. I think ultimately you still have to show up and play. I remember the Miami Dolphins back in 2008. They came to Kansas City for one of the coldest games in Chiefs history, and they beat the Chiefs 38-31. That was back in late 2008. So I think it was the last regular season game at home that year too. So, but anyway, my thing with the Chiefs defensively, and I'm going to tell you guys right now the secret to beating Tua. Are you ready? Sack him 3 times. Want to know why? Because Tua has been sacked 3 or more times in 6 games this year. And what is the Dolphins' record when Tua gets sacked 3 or more times? 1-5. That is their record. They've lost 5 times when Tua gets sacked at least 3 times. So if you get to Tua in this football game and you have the defense to do so, and the Chiefs love to use guys in the secondary to go after the quarterback, guys like Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, you're going to get to Tua in this football game. If you're the Miami Dolphins, man, you need your A game from your offensive line. They have to have they need the 03, 04, 05 offensive line that the Chiefs had. That is the only way they don't let Tua get hit. The only other way Miami can counter this, quick passes. This is what Cincinnati did in the first half against the Chiefs last week. And I told you going into that Chiefs-Bengals game that whichever offense can take advantage of the running game and utilize quick passes, they will win this football game. The Bengals did that for about a quarter and a half. And then after that, it turned around and the Chiefs were better at doing those things. The Bengals got away from that. So, and obviously the Bengals are not the same team as the Miami Dolphins, but when you look at how Miami does against good football teams, and I'm going to repeat that a lot as the week goes on, that is the key to winning. That is how you win this football game. Okay. Get to Tua. You've got the guys for it. Obviously, Chris Jones. You have George Karlaftis, Mike Dana, Charles Omenihu, guys who played today, guys like FAU and Malik Herring. They showed up in this game and made some plays. So you have the ability to go after Miami's quarterback. So that is the key defensively. And obviously the secondary has done great against top tier wide receivers all year long. We know L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, Jalen Watson. We know that crew can cover. They've been doing it all year long. And by the way, Miami, I'll say this now, they're actually lucky this wasn't a blowout because Josh Allen did miss a couple of times on some deep passes there, especially very early on. And if they're hitting on those, and by the way, the Bills don't scare me. They really don't scare me. That special teams return, that's what woke them up. At the end of the day, their defense and special teams won this game. Yeah, Josh Allen got a score in the end. Good on him. But, man, at the end of the day, neither of these teams tonight scare me. The only 2 teams that I would be scared of, per se, not really scared of, but you get the idea, would be the Ravens and the 49ers. And even those 2 teams have had their flaws this year. Every team's beatable. You can say that every year, by the way. Was the case for the Chiefs last year. They looked beatable in some games last year. But ultimately, this Miami team, which is the team we're focused in on for the week, their offense doesn't scare anybody. When they face a team with a winning record, when they face a good defense, you saw what they did in this game, okay? They got shut out in the second half. They only scored in 1 of the 3 quarters. Both of their touchdowns came in the second quarter, and that's their highest scoring quarter of the year. The Chiefs held them, by the way, to 0 points when they played each other in Germany. When they played the Dallas Cowboys, Miami, that is, they only put up 22 points. Now they got the win, which is good enough to win, but they should be able to put up more points. Remember, this was supposed to be a historic year for the Miami Dolphins offense. It was a very good year for them, statistically speaking, but it wasn't as dominant as everybody thought it was going to be. So this Dolphins football team, yeah, sure, they've got the numbers. It looks pretty and all, but I would argue right now it's some of the most misleading numbers you will find in NFL history. Let me look something up real quickly while we're here. I just want to see how many points they scored. I just got a text from a friend of mine, Tracy. She goes 100%. Chris Jones and Furious George, let's get some. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I'm excited for those two guys. I think those are going to be they're going to be your MVPs of this defensive line. That is going to be your MVP. Points forced this year. See, Miami didn't even lead the NFL in points, total points this year. Dallas at 509, San Francisco 491, Baltimore 483. Now, this, I don't know how up to date this is with today's games, but I'm sure Miami did not go too far ahead. Yeah, they're not going to finish as the leaders. Dallas scored more points. So, how many did the Chiefs score? Chiefs total points scored in 2018. Because I think it was like 545 or something along those lines. Oh, 565. Man, I was way off. So, yeah. This Dolphins team certainly, they did some good things, but yeah. Lewis says the O-line for the Dolphins are terrible. Yeah, they're not the greatest. 8 degrees, Donnie. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so we talked about the Chiefs defense, Chiefs offense now. This is where, you're going to either win or lose, okay? Because you know what you're getting from your defense. The offense just needs to be focused. They need to play smart. They need to focus. You do those things, just play good football, okay? The fundamentals. And don't force those deep passes that they keep trying to do. And obviously, listen, I think you got to be honest with yourself here. Kyle, to answer your question, no, Jerick McKinnon is not playing in this game. He's out for at least one more game. He's on IR for at least one more. So if you're the Chiefs, you just have to be honest with yourself. Throwing the ball to MVS downfield is just not really a viable option at this point. I mean, honestly, I would only throw to MVS. And I hate to be that guy. I would only throw to him if he's like wide open all by himself, because in case if it goes off his hands, no defensive player can be around to pick it off. Same thing with Kadarius Toney. I mean, these guys are fast. They've got the skill set, but man, it's just Brian says keep away from the dumb penalties. Yeah, I get that. The penalties don't even concern me. It's the turnovers. I just hope that at the end of the day, see, Travis makes a good point. The Chubb injury, unfortunate, will help our offensive line. And yeah, listen, injuries are part of sports in a very unforgiving way. I've said that so many times. You have to capitalize on that. You have to take advantage of that. You can't ever apologize for another team's mishaps. If you don't do it, your opponents will do it to you. Run the ball down the middle. Pacheco can go off in this game. By the way, for everyone upset about the Peacock thing, let me just say this. It doesn't cost a whole lot. So just get it for 1 month, either that or NFL Plus. I've been told Peacock does not have a free trial. I have Peacock, so I don't really know these things. NFL Plus, see if they have a free trial. Now, if you're watching it with a group of people, I don't think NFL Plus has a TV app, so you would probably need to go the Peacock route. So you can put it on your screen if you're watching with a group of people. If you're just watching by yourself and you're okay with watching on your phone, then go with your phone. But this whole thing about principle and the fact that, if you're an NFL fan, you have to, and if you want to watch every single thing, you have to pay for YouTube TV, and you have to pay for Peacock, and you have to pay for Amazon Prime. And you have to pay for ESPN Plus to get a couple of those international games. I get that. NFL Plus is mobile only. Okay, well, good to know. Look, this is the future. I'm not saying it's okay. This is the future, though. Major League Soccer, they have moved all of their games to Apple TV. KU basketball fans, which some of you guys are, some of them are upset over the fact that some of the KU basketball games are exclusively on ESPN Plus. It's not like what they do for the NFL, where, they show it for the local markets, only ESPN Plus. Now, if you live in Kansas City or Miami, you will get it on the local NBC affiliate. So for Kansas City, it's channel 41. I don't know what the NBC affiliate is in Miami, but whatever it is, that's where you go. Enzo says they want to make money. Yeah, absolutely. They know the Swifties are going to buy Peacock because they want to see Taylor Swift on TV. So this is a very smart move by the NFL and Peacock because they know the Swifties are willing to pay for the service. Mary says, why Peacock and not NBC? Well, if you live in Kansas City or Miami, it will be on NBC. But as far as why Peacock, this is the future at this point. I'm telling you guys right now, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The Super Bowl will one day be exclusively on a streaming service. And I have a feeling that when that happens, they're not going to do the whole, oh, if your team's playing the Super Bowl, you'll get it on your local market. No, they're going to make it exclusively on Paramount Plus, Peacock, ESPN, whatever streaming service it's going to be on. We're heading in that direction. So Dusty says Swift is the only reason we are all watching. Yes, exactly. That's the only reason. Yeah. So Mary, if you live in St. Louis, you're going to have to, your options are either a sports bar, although paying for Peacock would be much cheaper. Just get on your smart TV, make sure it doesn't automatically renew for the next month, and you're good. So, yeah, again, I know people don't like it. And here's the other thing, too, and I've discussed this before on Farscast. With all these streaming services, you got to have good Wi-Fi. So these internet providers need to start considering the fact that a lot of people have Netflix and Hulu, Peacock, Paramount Plus, ESPN Plus, and so many other streaming services that, are kind of on the rise, or maybe second, third tier streaming services that people still use because there's content only on those services. You got to be better about it. It's WrestleMania season. Just get Peacock and enjoy the ride. Yeah, see, I have Peacock because of wrestling. So yeah, I already have it, but I'm going to be watching on NBC just because that's easier to set up on the man cave. So you guys all know my setup. Yeah, look at the UFC. All of their events are either on ESPN or ESPN Plus, and so they make you pay monthly for ESPN Plus, and on top of that, you have to pay for the pay-per-view also. So. Again, I'm not saying it's right, but that's just the way it is. Is it regular Peacock service? There's no other package I need, right? Dalton, to my understanding, I think you just need the regular service. I don't think you need to get like the premium or whatever. I have premium because I always pay extra to avoid commercials with these things because it is not worth it for me to go through like 2 minutes and 30 minutes of commercials. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to watch my movie. So that's my thing. Bob has to go to bed. Okay, Bob. I know it's everyone's bedtime. It's late. I need to get to bed too. If I'm being honest, I got a very busy Monday, but hey, why not? Let's talk. Got a lot of people watching here. How are you guys feeling? If I had to ask you guys for a score prediction right now, what is your score prediction? Give me your score prediction. Christian says, why wouldn't McCole Hardman take MVS snaps? I don't know. Let's see. Christian, only way to know is to watch a game on Sunday. That's the only way we'll find out. Hardman had a couple of drops too, though. Let's not forget that. By the way, this week, Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a live stream. Okay. It's not going to be part of the podcast, but it will be a live stream at 8:00 Central Time. So join me for that. Wednesday, 7:00 Central Time, I will be doing the Chief Zone podcast live on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay. And then on Friday, as we do each and every single Red Friday, our Red Friday live chat. When that'll be exactly, I don't know. But we will be doing a Red Friday live chat this Friday, like we do every single week. Okay. I'm going to read some scores here. Wow. I'd score way up. I need to ask you guys more questions because that's what lights up the chat. 21-17, 24-21, 27-13, 27-21, 28-24. A lot of everyone thinks it's going to be in the 20s. 28-24, 20-17, 23-17, 27-24. Okay. Liliana says 35-21. Okay. So a lot of Bob says 34-28. Bob, you just said you're going to bed. I'm giving you a hard time. 35-21. We go up big at half 28-7. Okay, Dalton, I love it. Air horns for that. Yeah. Hell yeah, let's do it. Okay, so a lot of people think the Chiefs are going to score in the 20s, and the Dolphins might as well. McDuffie Burns Hill again. God, wouldn't that be so sweet? See, I'm just glad. I'm just glad it's not the Steelers, because then there would be this whole narrative of, oh, they got the easy team, which, you know, you can't apologize for that. But to me, I wanted Tyreek Hill again. Like, let's get the Arrowhead narrative going. Him coming back to Arrowhead. Let's get that storyline going for the week. Then let's see the Chiefs beat Tyreek Hill again. Because here's what bothered me the last few weeks. The whole thing with the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl last year went from, oh my God, how are the Chiefs going to survive without Tyreek Hill, to, holy shit, they're in the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. And then this year, at least in the last like 5 weeks, suddenly the whole Tyreek Hill narrative came back. Oh, they should have never traded Tyreek Hill. Well, they won a Super Bowl without him last year. They beat him this year, and they have a chance to beat him again. So even if the Chiefs get demolished the following week in the playoffs, I don't want to hear shit about not having Tyreek Hill or should have paid Tyreek Hill. Because if you won the Super Bowl last year without him and you beat him twice, once on a neutral playing field and the second time in a playoff game, like, that conversation needs to end forever. Unless the Dolphins win the Super Bowl every single year because of Tyreek for like the next 3 or 4 years. Because at that point, it's like, okay, this conversation needs to seriously stop. And here's the thing, like, as a sports fan, none of this stuff ever bothered me. But the whole Tyreek, Mahomes can't win without Tyreek narrative that happened in last March, it reminded me so much of when Shaq got traded and everybody and their mother said Kobe will never win without Shaq ever again. And I'm like, why? Last I checked, Shaq is not the gatekeeper to all things, you know, winning a championship. And I know they won a championship their first year. Was it their first year or second year in Miami? Shaq in Miami. I think it was the first year. I can't remember. But what happened after that? Kobe went to 3 straight finals and won 2 of them, got revenge on the Boston Celtics without Shaq. He finished his career with more, I was about to say Super Bowl, NBA titles than Shaq. So, you know, this whole thing to me is like, I don't know. I just don't, I hate the narrative that someone can't win without someone ever again. It's like, why? That person did not win the first 56 Super Bowls to ever exist. Like, people have won Super Bowls without those guys before. Patrick Mahomes is great, but, you know, he was never the gatekeeper for Andy Reid's success. Andy Reid had opportunities to win in the past. I've said that many times as well. Snead gonna burn Tyreek worse than his. Oh, okay. Come on, Travis. Hey, I'm all for jokes, but come on, man. Personal shit like that. Like, I would never wish something like that on anybody. I mean, come on. Let's. Yes, that was too soon. That was too soon. It's funny. Jim says Hill seems bitter and ungrateful. It's funny because he was on RG3's podcast and he said he was jealous of Mahomes and Kelsey and that he wanted to get invited to like fancy places to eat and not Joe's Kansas City. It's like, bro, I mean, I don't know who invites who. Okay. I'm talking about something that I have absolutely no idea about. When rich people want to invite other rich people to a super duper rich restaurant, like, how does that conversation work? I mean, if you're rich, I suppose, you know, you could take turns, kind of like if you're dating, like, okay, you pay this time, I pay next time, maybe that kind of thing. But it's like, I don't know. I thought that was a funny comment by him. And plus, like, who turns down Kansas City barbecue? By the way, let me just say this. Like, going to a rich restaurant, a fancy restaurant to eat, that's cool. Like, you can post and flex and all that stuff. But a lot of like expensive restaurants are very overrated. I mean, honestly, like, listen, I've been to Vegas many times. You guys know this. I know, like, I'd like to think I have a good idea of where the good spots to eat and not eat and the places that are overrated to avoid. I can tell you right now, there are a lot of steakhouses that are extremely overrated and overpriced. It's like, okay, I can get this at a steakhouse back in Kansas City for half the price. So I don't know, man. That's just me. That is just me. I have a feeling Allen running the ball is going to cost him in the playoffs. Hint, 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 his shoulder. Here's my thing. Like, it might help you to beat a team like the Patriots last week and beat the Dolphins tonight. But man, you're not going to survive winning that way. I'm sorry. Like, the Bills don't scare me. I know they're winning games, and that's great. You guys know me. I've always said you never apologize for winning. But unless the Bills turn it up, kind of like how we keep saying about the Chiefs, unless the Bills turn it up and Josh Allen stops committing all these damn turnovers, nobody's scared of the Bills. It's going to be cold when the Chiefs go up to Buffalo. I would much rather go face the Dolphins for a warm weather game than the Bills. But, you know, at this point, it's like, who's afraid of Buffalo? And by the way, who are they going to play? The Steelers? Yeah, they're going to blow them out. Chiefs going to be playing the Dolphins. I've got the Chiefs winning that one. I have the Browns going to Houston and winning that. So for the divisional round, I have the Chiefs going to Buffalo and the Browns going to Baltimore. Let me just quickly look at the NFC. So Cowboys against the Packers. I'll pick the Cowboys. Lions and Rams. Give me the Rams. I think that's going to be the best game of the week, by the way. And then Eagles and Bucks. Okay, that might be the hardest game on the schedule. I have no idea what kind of team the Eagles are. I'll pick the Eagles. I don't know, though. That's a hard one. So the teams I'm picking, Cowboys, Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, Bills, Browns. Those are my 6 picks for next week. Those are my 6 picks. Okay, guys, before I get out of here, one last reminder. Tuesday, I'll be doing a live stream, 8 p.m. Central Time. Okay, that is not going to be part of the Chiefs Zone podcast. That is just going to be a live stream to talk some playoffs. Wednesday, I'll be doing the Chiefs Zone podcast, 7 o'clock Central Time. We will break down and preview the game, and I'll give you my prediction for Chiefs and Dolphins. And then Friday, we'll do our Red Friday live chat, as we do each and every single Friday evening. So that's okay. So Jalen just hurt his finger. Oh, okay. Is that, I did not know that. I haven't had a chance to follow the other games that happen at the same time. My friend from Philly says the Eagles are overrated this year. I don't know. Maybe I changed my mind during the week with injury updates and all that, but that gives us Browns versus Ravens, Chiefs versus Bills. Those are good matchups. Yeah. And if the road teams win, guess who's hosting the AFC title? Okay, we're getting too ahead of ourselves. But hey, maybe, you never know. Okay, guys, thank you all. By the way, today was an awesome day on the Facebook page. We've had a reach of more than 3.5 million on this page. I normally don't check stats or any of that stuff. I just post and go on, but today was a massive day on the page. I don't know why, because it's the Chiefs playing the Chargers with backups. But today was a damn good day. And the posts from the last couple of days also picked up a lot today. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm out of here. Please subscribe to the podcast. We'll be back on Tuesday for our first live stream of the week. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Good night. Take care.